Hi, everyone. How are you all doing with these energies? I got a lot of calls today. I know the full moon was yesterday going into today. Yesterday, I had some emotional things going on myself. I didn't know where they came from. They came out of nowhere. Um, but I just wanted to get on here and tell you that this energy is just trying to balance us within ourselves. Basically, that's what this is just trying to do. And if we could all, as a collective, just kind of let that go, let things go and allow things to happen, then it would be so much easier in this process. And I understand it. Sit up. I understand what's going on as well, and dealing with things, it's time to learn to not blame others. That's the biggest thing here, is not to blame other people, because really everything that does happen with us is what we've thought about, what we've planted. But the biggest thing is how we react to things. I've been doing a lot of readings for people, like he said or she said or this or that or whatever made me feel bad. Well, the people who do not follow channels like this, the people who don't know what's going on but are still living the same energies we're living, they don't know what to do with this. They have no idea. All they know is that their lives are turning upside down. Their thoughts and opinions are changing on things, and they may not want them to because it's a scary place to be. So it's time for compassion for that. We've got 4 planets in retrograde. And Mercury yesterday, which would have been, what is today? Wednesday? Would have been Tuesday. Yeah. And Venus is finishing up its work to go direct here in 3 days. So, that's heavy hitting as well. We've got Jupiter in retrograde. We've got Saturn in retrograde. Is this a bad thing or a thing to fear? No, it's to slow us down and to take a look at things, because go time in May is going to be go time in May. So it's time for everybody to slow down and really take a look at where they want to be and who they are and what your boundaries are. What you want in relationships, what you don't want in relationships. The big thing here, I watch people on YouTube as well, and I listen to my own self too when I give readings, even though it comes in and out. I don't usually put a whole lot of my opinion in there, but at the same time, we haven't been in this space before. We really haven't been in this space before, where we are really having to heal. It's time for a mass healing, or all of these things that are going on in the planet, all of these things that are going on in the world are going to continue until we give it up and we allow the light to go through. This full moon is a game changer. All these planets in retrograde, it's like we've been asked to do this work for about 4 years, really. None of us has really done all of it. And so now it's the final purge. And we're all kind of a bit shaky. And if you are, especially water sign, I am a water sign, sun, an earth sign ascendant, earth sign moon. Thank goodness, because the water sign in me is very empathetic, The Capricorn is very empathetic, and so is the Taurus. So a lot of times when you all are feeling this energy and you don't know what to do, and you're a client of mine, I have regular clients, and most of them have come from you, from YouTube. I pick up on that. And when there's a mass purging like this, it is kind of tough. I don't know if it's my stuff that needs to be purged, which I'm sure a lot of it is, and I've been working on that. Or if I pick up on everybody else too. And both happens. And so do you. You don't have to be a professional reader, healer, astrologer. You have these gifts. God did not place you here without tools. God did not say, oh, look at you. Look at you. Okay, you're here. You asked to be here. You're here. Now we'll see you when you get back. You have tools. You have knowledge. You have feelings. You have senses. Don't ignore those right now. Don't ignore those right now. They have to be propelled forward. The old ways of being, the old ways of struggling, the old ways of, I have to work until I can't work anymore. You're telling yourself that's what you have to do to have your abundance, and that is absolutely not true. You do have to do work, don't get me wrong, but you were not placed here to struggle. You were not placed here to worry. You were not placed here to doubt. You were placed here to create, and this is a creative time. This is a huge creative time, and we all need to get on that bandwagon. It's easy to say, well, I will do it later tonight. I will sit down and figure out what it is I want to do. Pretty soon, all these retrogrades are going to be over. All these planning stages are going to be over. And what are we going to move forward with? Right? Me too. Me too. We have to sit down and say, okay, there's a new perspective. There's a new way of doing things. There's a new way of looking at things. We are being presented with this. And the people who just want to stay in the energy that they're in, it's going to keep playing over and over and over, harder and harder and harder. And remember, whatever you say after I am or I have, you are claiming it. So if you say, I am so tired, the universe is like, okay, your wish is my command. If you say, I have no money, the universe is like, well, we work in abundance, but since that's what you're claiming, I guess that's what your lesson is. So here, no money. You ever hear that term, fake it till you make it? It's absolutely true. What you ask for is given, as long as you understand that it comes from knowledge, that you have achieved it. You ask for it, it's manifesting. You worry about something, you're asking for it, it's manifesting. You know something's happening, you're asking for it, it's happening. Whatever you put the most of your energy behind is what's coming. Okay? Now, I know they're talking a lot about all of this, but it's almost like an agitation, almost like a sense of urgency. It's almost like a sense of urgency. It's like, come on. Come on. I hear it too. I'm just the messenger. But, it's scary. But it should be the least scary thing there is, to trust. To trust should be the least scary thing that it is. Seriously. There's so much abundance opening up for everyone. There's so much. Your creator, the creator, only comes from love and abundance. only wants to give you what you ask for. You do have to plant the seeds. You do have to put the work out there, but you don't have to struggle with the work. It's got to be something you want to do because it's a gift of yours. One thing I see out there a lot, and I'm just going to go out there and put it out there, and I know this is a very frank video, and they're talking a lot, but I want to put this out there because it kind of bothers me. Let's start with this. When I have a client, if you called me for a reading, and I saw gifts in you that you could be using right now, I bring them up, and I am excited. I am excited for you. Look at me, I'm going to cry already. I am excited to know that everyone can band together for a greater world. I am excited to know that everybody can band together and be there for each other. I am excited to know that everyone can share this abundance. But what gets me is the people who are in the spiritual world. There's a difference between spiritual world and New Age. But people who put themselves out there and then they get upset at other people. They want to tell people they don't have gifts. It's almost like that's not spirituality. That's not coming from love. Coming from love is supporting others like you, being around like-minded people, making strides. Do that because the rewards are great. All the work that you've been doing, you're going to be rewarded by. Okay, this almost sounds like one of my coaching sessions. You know, I do offer coaching sessions, but and we talk, and there's such inspiration with what this universe has to say. If you knew the army that was behind you, you wouldn't be afraid of one thing. And I can tell you stories. As a matter of fact, somebody asked me when was my book coming out, and I didn't tell anybody I was working on a book, but I have so many stories, I have so many miracles, I have so many things that we can't explain on a physical level, that I am actually working on a book. I actually have 3 started. Can't figure out which one I want to do first. But I am happy to share this with you. I am happy to give you a direction in life. Nothing makes me feel good. I've been feel better. I have been doing this for I don't know how many years. And still, I am amazed by people. Still, I am amazed by you. And I am amazed by the things that I've seen God and this beautiful, benevolent universe pull off simply out of love. And when you're not loving, when you have fear, doubt, and worry, that's pulling away from God. And I don't want to see that. So I feel that I had to come on here in regards to, I always got to be why. I don't know if I'm doing cards or not. They always tell me, but at the same time, I have to have something in my hands. It's so funny. But it's time. It's time for a new you. There's going to be a new launch. After all of this retrograde season, after all you've been through over the past 4 years, sorry. And I am so proud to be on this journey with you. And I just want you guys to know that, you know, I can't be on all the time, but I really do appreciate you. And you are all in my prayers. I don't have to have your name in order for me to put out prayers and energy to everyone who is a subscriber, who is a customer, anything like that. Okay? So I just wanted to put that out there, and I didn't mean to have a meltdown. Yesterday I was very emotional. Yesterday was a very emotional day for me. I don't know where it all came from. No idea, except for the full moon. What I said, the full moon, Mercury going retrograde. And I don't want you guys to think about retrogrades as something to fear. It's something to embrace. It's like me giving you a prescription that says, hey, it's Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, Pluto's going into retrograde, Saturn's in retrograde. Here's a prescription to take it easy. Here's a prescription to be at the beach in your flip-flops and your margarita. And just reevaluate. Replan. Look at how things are going. Pay attention to how you're feeling about things. Especially, we're coming up on the last days of Venus retrograde. Yes, there are shadow periods, generally about 2 weeks, but they're not as strong. But take a look at what your feelings are. Venus encompasses you. Okay? Your health, how you feel about yourself, your career, your relationships. Not just love relationships. Everyone's like, well, this could devastate love relationships. Not necessarily. It could be a business relationship. It could be a relationship with your family. It could be friends. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to cause havoc in your love life. And it doesn't. There's a lot of people who are doing really well right now in their love life. And suffice to say, I feel that if you've made it this far through Venus retrograde, then it should be okay. We still have this weekend to go through. But it seems to me that the universe is working on a level of, okay, if we brought this together and this is going to work, maybe we just keep people busy this weekend so they're not sitting and thinking and mulling over. Or let's take the work away and this person has to sit and think about what's going on. You never know what's going to happen. All I know is the universe is in divine timing. Not always easy to swallow that, believe me. And there's a lot of people who have come back in the past year or come together since the beginning of the year who haven't seen each other. Maybe they had attraction for each other way back when. They started all of that. Or maybe even not. Maybe they didn't start anything. Maybe they liked each other from afar. But they've been brought back into your life for a reason. Sometimes people have to have middle lives. So don't overanalyze things. Maybe they had to have those middle lives in order to appreciate the gift that God is giving them. Or maybe some of those middle lives, it's time to move on. All I know is everything is in divine order for your highest and greatest good, and everyone's highest and greatest and good involved. Okay, so please get through these energies as easy as you can. just sit back and surrender it up and say, okay, let's see what this does. Let's see what May brings, because May is going to take off. You know, Mercury's only retrograde for about 3 weeks. Of course, you have the shadows, but it's going to be going direct the 3rd, 2nd or 3rd of May. Venus, Jupiter is not going to go direct till June, but Jupiter's all about expansion. When Saturn goes retrograde, it's like, because it's not beating us with lessons. So retrograde is not a bad thing. It's really not a bad thing. Okay? All right. So let's pull just a couple cards since they're in my hand and they're feeling hot. So what do you want the viewers to know right now? They reminded me to tell you about the 30 minutes for $25 I have right now. Normally it's $60. So 30 minutes for $25, and we can see where you're going or where you're headed, what if you want to change anything, or if you don't. Up to you. Okay. That's going to be on a link down below. Alrighty. King of Wands. Interesting. Master of communication. Opportunities going to present themselves. Help on a communication level. And we're in Mercury retrograde, which is the ruler of communication. Please. And I got to admit, I did this yesterday. I'll admit to you guys. Do not take anything in text or email. Literally right now, especially if it bothers you, because you don't know how it's being delivered. And because Mercury is a planet of communication, things can really get messed up. I mean, seriously, you could say something like, well, if I don't know what's going on, then I can't help you. See if somebody can. And you could text that, and the person will get, well, if you can't tell me what's going on, then you know what? I can't help you. You're going to have to find somebody else. And then you wanting to help somebody turns into this big, huge argument. Because Mercury's just moving. It's a fast-moving planet, and now it's got to sit still. It's not happy. Clarify things with people on a talking level. Okay? 3 of Pentacles. So money, start thinking about what you're doing. What's the word I'm looking for? Self-expression wise. Possibly even starting a business. Because what's going to happen come May, here we are, the Page of Swords. Come May, is all that stuff's going to be just, you're going to have it down to where you want it. And cleaned out and cleared up. I'm not saying it's not going to change. You know, anything that is born during Mercury retrograde, bought during Mercury retrograde, signed during Mercury retrograde can definitely change. But life happens. Life goes on, and if you need to sign a contract, you need to sign a contract. Just know that it could change. If you start a business, well, no. At least until after Venus goes direct. Okay? This weekend. I don't know that I'd start that, but it's a great time to think about it. It's a great time to think about what you want to do and where you want to go with it. Okay? It's just going to have to be tweaked. As long as you know this, it's all good. So, I didn't want this to be a half hour. It's getting there. I had a conversation with the universe about that, but, you know, I don't always get to direct things. I guess that's the divine timing thing, correct? Um, but I want to thank you all for everything. And like I said, uh, if you would like a reading, they're, ouch! My cat just got me. Ow, that hurt. If you would like a 30-minute reading for $25, the link is below. That's only going to be for this week. But I wanted to be able to at least get everybody on some sort of page as to what they could be working on. Okay? It's go time. And those seeds that we plant are very important. It itches. So, I want to thank you for everything. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Thank you for visiting my Facebook page, the comments, and my website, thechakrarealm.com. You guys are totally awesome. Thank you for everything. If you have any questions regarding anything, If you have any questions regarding anything, my email is thechakrarealm@yahoo.com. Thank you so very much. Blessings to you. Blessings to you. And have an awesome, awesome rest of the week. Love you. Take care.